Hi friends, my name is Paa Kumi Frank. Um, I'm a social enterprise development practitioner. I have done this for over 18 years now, and I carefully, out of passion, created a social enterprise organization called Passionate Africa Leadership Institute. And I often tell people that by this I have not added myself to the unemployment data of our nation. And I'm a strong advocate for talents, that each one of us has an inherent traits and abilities, and that if we are to pay attention and harness our individual talents and skills, probably globally the unemployment rate would be very, very, very insignificant. As we speak now, we began PALI as a mere community-based organization in the eastern region of Ghana. It has expanded its horizon and has fully gone international, and we have 5 different concepts under PALI. Under PALI Global, we have the Pan-African Center for Transformative Society, PALI Online, PALI Center for Human Development, Academy of Christian Leadership and Political Renewal, and the Reshape Africa Initiative. This has happened under my leadership in the span of 15 to 18 years. There are few pointers, there are few reflections that I think is of relevance to this particular class or this session, and I would like to challenge you with that. Number one, I share with you this quote: the ability to intentionally cultivate, create, and maintain a momentum of nurturing and facilitating change embedded within a culture of continuous improvement of the status quo, born out of inspiration, is a great asset for contemporary stewardship. And this one is one of my own quotes, and I just thought that the class would need this just right for. The second quote is that to be exceptional in dispensing leadership tasks and expectations, be it at the level of corporate America, the state governments, and even federal administration, you should have mastered the act of leading oneself successfully. In our Ghanaian adage, we normally say, "Se kwatrekwa se obema o entoma tienidin." To wit, if a naked person promise to clothe you, pay attention to his nakedness before you believe him. So it puts a lot of emphasis on the fact that you cannot purport to be leading when you have not led yourself. Leading oneself is fundamental. Let's listen to this one as well. Transformational leadership rests largely on the shoulders of self-leadership. Again, this is my quote. Now I would like to share, because I know that a time will come you would have your take and could have a proper discussion. But let me share with you what leadership imperative implies. Number one, certain leadership is imperative, or leadership remain imperative or relevant because, number one, leadership sets the tone. They set the tone. So setting the tone and agenda is a critical function of leadership. Number two, leadership determines priorities at the organizational level, at corporate space, faith, leadership, political, etc. Another imperative of leadership, or another reason for leadership being too relevant even in our day, is that leaders often command a conceptual acumen. They have a natural inclination for concepts. Organizational culture, community culture, even to some extent national and global culture, are often forged or often led by leaders. The job of tracking, monitoring results and deliverables in a space is a key attribute of leadership. Again, in terms of resource stewardship, leaders have a critical duty in stewarding resources. People development and empowerment is a key thrust for leadership. Ultimately, problem solving, problem diagnosis, problem solutions and prescriptions is it's a bedrock. Indeed, it's not even part, it's a fundamental bedrock of leadership. And this, I can give an example that the founder of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, some 2 decades ago, when I completed high school, it was difficult. In fact, it was almost like impossible to connect with friends until Facebook appeared. He just decided to put your face, my face, into a book. And by the click of the button, globally, we can be connected, you can be connected without hustle and bustle. And this is a demonstration of leadership. As far as my leadership journey is concerned, which is close to 2 decades, I have come across several definitions of leadership. There is one that, in my considered view, carries a lot of weight. I would like to quickly share this definition with you, and we take some perspective from it. This is borrowed from John P. Cutler. He says leadership is the development of vision and strategies. It is the alignment of relevant people behind those strategies. It is the empowerment of individuals to make the vision happen despite obstacles. This, to me, is the whole gospel according to leadership. Why? There's a strong element of execution, which has little space for excuses. In our parts of the world, especially in Africa, we often find people in leadership positions that often comes and rather package the problems that they inherited and give it back to the citizens and justify why the lights cannot be on, justify why infrastructure cannot be put right. So for John Cutler's definition, for me, I see it as a litmus test that it's a whole checklist. Checklist number 1 is the strong presence of vision. Checklist number 2 is the strong presence of strategy. Any vision that is not backed by strategy is not going anywhere. Apart from that, beside that, an alignment of relevant people behind the strategy. And what do we mean by relevant people? It doesn't mean that some of us are not relevant, but for the task, who is best suited for the assignment. So if you come to PALI Global, for instance, the first lady of PALI Global is in charge of hospitality and protocol, because that is her strength and that she delivers that best. So putting a team together should be based on their strengths and what the value that they bring to bear. Again, he says that you empower people. Apart from aligning the right people for the right cause, you need to give them tools. You need to educate them. And this virtual tour is a demonstration, it's an empowerment. If you participated in this, your cultural awareness level would shoot up, your value in terms of cultural alertness would definitely shoot up as compared to somebody who could not take part in this very class. And then he says that obstacles are present in every project. In fact, if you are to ask Professor Dankwa, if you are to ask Dr. Manika, if you are to ask the PALI team, they could give 101 reasons why this virtual tour could not have come on. There were obstacles on their way, but because they demonstrated enough leadership, all the obstacles gave way. And what are we experiencing this afternoon of a Saturday? We are experiencing second session of virtual tour, which almost looked impossible at the initial stage. This is what we call execution, execution, execution. As far as I am concerned, leadership is execution. It has no room for excuses. Thanks for your attention. Let's engage. Pass a comment. If you have a question, kindly direct it. Let's have a discussion. It's leadership, leadership, leadership.